I think this year is a big transition year for us. Last year I thought we really struggled to just really get the X's and O's right, and I thought our productivity was just too low. I didn't feel like we were reaching our potential, and there was a ton of turnover, at the end of last year and certainly at the beginning of the fall, and I think it put us in a really great place to be successful at this point. We have a really young team. We have 10 freshmen and no seniors. And even of those juniors that we have, a couple of our strongest kids were out last year due to injury. So I think we have a really young group, but I feel very confident that this is the group that we need to have. Everyone is focused and working their tails off and doing everything that I ask of them. And although I think it's an issue of progress every week, I feel like we're getting a little bit better. I feel really great about this group, and I feel like we're back on track to get back to the historical winning that Stonehill Lacrosse is used to.
So I think heading into the season, our goals are just to get better every game. Lambert always tells us we want to be playing our best lacrosse come May, so we have a really young team right now, so we're just working on getting better every day and hopefully beating all the teams we should beat and kind of bouncing back from last year.
Some goals for our season are being one, if as a family playing together, really playing for each other, not just yourself. Accountability, making sure everyone's hustling after the ground ball if you miss it or something. And attitude, always having a positive attitude going in, making sure we're having fun on and off the field together, team chemistry and stuff like that.
I mean, almost half of our team are freshmen at this point, and although that's a challenge, it really does make it fun, because I think as a freshman you're just so excited to be playing college lacrosse, and it's such an opportunity, and I feel like all of these kids are really trying their hardest to make the absolute best of it. And so the attitude and the energy has just been awesome. But no matter how good they are, I mean, freshmen are freshmen, and there are growing pains associated with that. But they're living and they're learning, and as long as I feel like they're not making the same mistake this week that they were making last week, then I feel like we're doing things right. And it definitely does feel that way. I think there's a lot of talent. I think what really needs some experience and some nurturing is just leadership abilities. I mean, you're not expected to lead as a freshman, but when you're half of the team, you got to kind of fill that role whether you expected it or want it or not. So I feel like that's the place where those guys are starting to get their feet wet, as preseason comes to an end.
Last year and this year, we're a completely different team. We have so many freshmen that are so athletic, so great. They just need more experience. They're working so hard. They have the hustle, they have the heart. It's just they just need to learn. It comes with time and everything, and I think we're just gonna leave behind last year and just really focus on us this year because we're so different.
We are a young team. We have 11 freshmen, which is half our team, and I think just that was a huge adjustment this preseason, was figuring out everyone's style of play and where everyone's gonna fit into both our offense and our defense. So I think that adjustment is definitely something we're still working through. It's a work in progress, but I think I see our team developing into being the team that we were my freshman year when we had Katie Conover and Eric Eisner and all those seniors, and I think we have the potential to be that team again, and so I just see if our freshmen, help contribute to the upperclassmen and help them out, then I think we'll definitely be that team again.
In the fall, I used to pull over some people and help them out with either attack or defense, but really helping them out with their confidence and telling them that they can do it and that they are so good at lacrosse. That's why they came to Stonehill. They committed for a reason, and they just I think need the confidence to make that 1v1 drive or make that defensive play or go after the ball without hesitation.
I mean, Olivia DeCurtis down there on defense and Liz Katsoulis, they're juniors and sophomores, but we're completely looking at them to get it right and get the communication right when they're on the other end of the field. And they've played enough where I think that they have enough game experience that they're ready for that. And those two are very easily coming into that role, which is awesome. We have Katie Healey back in the midfield, which obviously she had a ton of experience her freshman year. Had an ACL injury very early into her sophomore year, but she's certainly the type of kid where really, her actions speak volumes. She's more of a quiet kid, but she's the hardest working kid. She's probably maybe the most competitive kid we have on our team, so we're certainly so grateful to have her back. And I think Jen Wheaton's healthy enough to run the attack, and things are night and day when she's in and when she's out. I mean, if there's one thing that she does just so well, it's just kind of dictating where everybody needs to go and how it's supposed to look. So I do feel like, thankfully, we do have returners in the right places to get those freshmen going. Jen Wheaton does a lot of the little things well, and although she's still kind of like recovering from injuries and coming back slowly, it's really her knowledge of the game that makes her so special. I think she's probably one of the best athletes that I've ever coached, and she's exceptional off the draw, and she's been sharing time on the draw with one of our freshmen, Julia. So between the two of those, I think that that's a space that we feel really, really confident with. And then down on attack, I mean, for that year and a half that she was out, I don't think she ever put a lacrosse stick down. So I think her skill set, her stick work, her feeding, her scoring, her finishing, all of that sort of stuff is much better than it was her freshman year.
Yeah, so last year was definitely tough and tough watching for like me and Katie, but I think we have a lot to build on. With a young team, all the new freshmen coming in are so eager to get better and help the team out. So just getting back to basics and working hard every day. Yeah, so definitely learned a lot last year, but I'm so excited to be out there playing this year. And I mean, you really miss it when you're not playing. So I think just appreciating every day at practice, like you said, and excited to go out and finally play some games.
Yeah, I think being sidelined last year was definitely frustrating because I wanted to be out there so bad and helping to contribute, but just unfortunately I couldn't be. And I think this year, coming back from an injury, I definitely am appreciating like being there for my team and performing to my best and working hard to be the best player that I can be and come back better than I was last year at the beginning of the year. Yeah, I think it's been a slow start this year, coming back and running midfield, especially coming off an injury, because the whole running and recovering part is still working through it. But I think offensively, I'm just hoping to be scoring goals and contributing to the offense more than I was last year. And then defensively, I think just helping to run the defense and helping out, Olivia DeCurtis, who's our junior on defense, and communicating and helping the freshmen know where to go and ultimately stopping goals and stopping people from scoring.
Katie, I don't know who made Katie Healy, but she is kind of a freak. I mean, she started out a little slow and a little sore, but every day she gets faster and every day she gets stronger. And she's just a kid when things aren't going easy. When things aren't going easy or things aren't going maybe smoother the way you expected them to be, she finds a way to kind of take care of that for you. Yeah, I think both of our goalies are really good. I think we have two very talented goalies, and I think that they're kind of bringing out the best in each other right now. They have an awesome relationship, which I'm really grateful for, and I don't think that's an easy position to fight over. But the two of them, they're just such good teammates, and they've kind of handled the whole situation with a lot of grace, and frankly, they're both playing great.
Yeah, we like to say win the draw, win the game, kind of, as if we have more possession, especially with the new rules and the shot clock, the game's a lot faster, so we want to keep the ball in attack and give the defense some rest. I think the shot clock definitely makes the game a lot faster, so a lot more goals, more possessions. There's fewer whistles in the midfield, so there'll be fewer stoppages during the game. So I think overall just a lot faster. I
mean, thank God there's not any major ones this year, because last year there were too many to count, but even so, just another opportunity of freshmen kind of learning is half of our team have never played with free movement or a shot clock or all of that sort of stuff. So I feel like that is still even a process. We're just trying to get them to watch as much film as possible so we can hit the ground running once we get to our games. But, you're really not going to see a ton of major rule changes. I think we're still figuring out some of the rule changes from last year.
Being home helped us a lot because, it's our home turf and we want to win games at home because everyone comes out and sees us play, and it's just a better atmosphere, and we're all more pumped up to play at home than we are when we're playing away. So I think having 10 is just going to really help us out this year, and we're going to be really excited for all of them. So
I think it's going to help because traveling is a big thing. You kind of fall behind on your academics sometimes with traveling. It becomes very tiring, but the home games will really, really help because you could just go back home, celebrate with your team, get a nice dinner or something like that.
We're so excited for Sunday. I mean, we've been working hard all fall, throughout fall ball, and especially the last 5 weeks of preseason. So we're excited to go out there. I mean, we had scrimmages, so I was playing someone else, but we're excited to get into games, especially any 10 play.
Yeah, I think we're just pumped up and we're like ready to start because we've been playing for 6 weeks against each other and some scrimmages in between. But it's just like super exciting to start at home because I think in my 3 years that I've been here, we've never had a home game to start our first season.
You know, I think we have a lot of potential this year. I do think it's going to be a process. I really think that we're learning every single day, but I think this team has potential to do some really great stuff. I've been telling them for months that if they can be coachable and they can have fun and they can just have an open mind, Cookie and I will figure out the rest. We'll tell you where to be, we'll tell you what to do. And so although that's happening on some ends one day and other ends on the other, you know, we do feel like once these games get going and we start out, you know, we get to start out with Queens and Stack that are non-conference games. We get to move Malloy, who's another non-conference, but a little bit, you know, a little more competitive. I think that that's a really great way for these guys to start. And I think that once they figure it out and once they really get together in a competitive setting a little more often, I do feel like it's going to click for them. It's an exciting group and it's been a lot of fun so far. And I tell them all the time that, like, if you can find a way to have fun, you will play great. You know, you got to play loose, you got to relax, and you got to have a good time if you want to play to your potential. And I feel like this group is able to do that.